Today I would like to talk about unscrupulous horse buyers. Horse sellers often get a bad rap for lying about a horse they sell, or being difficult to deal with, but some horse buyers are no better, and in all too many cases turn into unscrupulous horse sellers themselves. I am not talking about the truly heinous criminals who take free horses under false pretense and send them to slaughter, or even nasty pieces of work who buy a pony for their children who don't exist as they are really trying to buy horses for the local mismanaged and borderline cruel lesson program. I am not talking about bounce checks or other simple contract issues. The ones I am talking about are liars just the same, but sadly it is neither criminal enough to prosecute, or obvious enough to prevent people from selling to them. This is what makes them diabolical. They come in many forms. Families, horse professionals, women who want to rekindle their love of horses. They ask the right questions, ride well enough, and offer a fabulous home to your horse. But it is lies. All lies. Even though the buyer themselves may not know it at the time. Shall I offer some examples? First, we have the barn owner who bought a gelding from me so he could be a light-use Western-type lesson horse. I was upfront with them about my reason for selling him. He had an old hock injury that made being a lesson horse for a jumping program unethical. He was a nice-looking horse, and had decent training, but his injury meant he needed special care and consideration, so I priced him as such. And of course they talked me down as much as possible. But as she sounded like she offered a great home for this horse, I let him go. But a few months later I see him being advertised for sale as a show hunter. For a fair bit of money. Much more money than a green gelding with bad hocks should be selling for. Now I have no problem with someone taking a horse, putting show miles on it, and selling it for a profit, but to lie to me about their plans for this very kind horse and then make him do a job that will break him down all the faster? That is just sick. My hope is they priced him high enough that the potential buyer would x-ray him, although that example isn't nearly as bad as the horse we sold for just a little more than meat money on behalf of a friend. The poor little guy had previously broken his splint bone right below its knee and not been treated. This horse was suitable for pleasure riding only and we sold him as such. The buyer came from a ways away, with trailer and cash in hand. Liked what they saw so bought him right away for their daughter. Only 1 week later he is for sale as a fancy pony hunter prospect. Fortunately for that horse they changed their mind and actually did keep him for their daughter to pleasure ride. How horrible do you have to be to think a pony with an improperly healed brake should jump? How cold are you to see dollar signs at this pony and future owner's expense? I am also flabbergasted by the seller who took an arthritic gelding on trade for a saddle as a trail horse they would keep forever. Then they sell him to someone as a level 2 jumper and level 1 dressage horse. Not even sure they knew what that means. The poor horse has both his upper and lower hock joints fusing and shouldn't be jumping or doing dressage. I felt bad for the new owner when we let her know just what she had bought, but I think she did the right thing and kept him for pleasure use. And I was very sad when I heard that the horse we sold for cheap because he had smoiditis was going to be put in jumper training. Why did the buyer tell us they wanted a dressage and pleasure horse if they really wanted a jumper? I hope he holds up. It also amazes me how many mature, adult horses I sell that are 15.1 or 15.2 hands, yet turn into 15.3 hands when their new owner decides to sell them. 8-year-old horses don't grow. Or a club-footed horse that is sold as having no health or soundness issues. So as much as I get why people get frustrated when sellers lie about their horses, it is equally frustrating to be an honest seller who then has the buyers turn around and make a buck by lying about that same horse. I wonder at what point you stop seeing a horse and start just seeing dollar signs? I hope I never get to that point.